Good afternoon and welcome to the Hungaroring for this first race of the weekend on a beautiful weekend. Round 5 in Hungary, 25 minutes of racing coming up in just a few minutes with some real turnarounds in the qualifying and in practice here. Air temperature outside 25 degrees, track temperature a very scorching 38 degrees because the sun is beaming down with 39 degrees percent humidity. This morning and last night we had a bit of rain here, and that really threw a spanner into the works also for the first qualifying session, and that means that on this first grid today we're going to be seeing Daniel Tichtem on the pole position. We'll tell you more about that in just a couple of moments. After a month-long break, the Formula Renault Eurocup back in action here in Budapest. The Hungaroring hosting round 5 of the season and the first race weekend of the year. There's just one race today that's coming up in just a couple of minutes, and 2 races tomorrow, almost back-to-back. As the cars prepare to line up on the grid, the teams had a day of testing on Thursday to get accustomed to the tight and twisty circuit here that doesn't really allow them a moment to catch a breath just until Sunday, when we'll know the successes to past winners here in Hungary like Brendan Hartley, Daniel Ricciardo, Jean-Eric Vergne, Robin Freins, Daniel Kvyat and Jack Aitken, just to name a few. The race winner in Monaco last month, Sasha Fenestras, with Joseph Kaufmann racing, he's kept the momentum going during the return to action for the Formula Eurocup, from the Renault Eurocup here in Hungary, with a new category track record at the Hungaroring. The French driver dominated the 2 collective test sessions ahead of Robert Schwartzman from Race GP and rookie Yifei Ye from Joseph Kaufmann Racing as well. On Thursday, Fenestras set the fastest time in private tests with 1:41.256. The Frenchman went to the top of the charts in the first session before Robert Schwartzman took over, but Fenestras answered back in the final 2 sessions. In qualifying, while Tichtem was fastest in the first session this morning, that's largely, as we said, because of the poor conditions for the Group A cars that went out first on a damp track. Second qualifying session, it was again Fenestras who was the fastest on the track. He put in 1:40.748, just ahead of Palmer. Palmer, who had a big problem in the first session due to a technical fault with his accelerator. Last year, the Russian driver Schwartzman scored his first podium result in Formula Renault NEC here. For his part, Fenestras wants a repeat of his 2015 double podium at Budapest, when he was racing with the French F4 Championship, to continue the momentum following his win in Monaco. Max Deforny also raced last year at Budapest in the NEC. A bit further down in the standings, the Belgian driver wants to make the most of the 3 races to distance himself from Alex Peroni and to take his first win since Motorland in 2016. Well, talking about Monaco, back in Monaco, Will Palmer took the first round of the Formula Renault Eurocup meeting of the Principality. The Briton started from pole to take his 3rd victory of the season to join brother Julian Palmer as a race winner at Monaco. His triumph ahead of the Sasha Fenestras and Max Deforny saw him retake the lead in general. The Red Bull Junior team driver Daniel Tichtem was 5th overall and best among the rookies. In race 2 of that weekend back in Monaco, 1 year after his first victory in the Principality, Sasha Fenestras did it again, winning the Formula Renault Eurocup race in curtain raiser for the F1 Grand Prix for the 2nd time. Starting from pole position, the Frenchman took the honours ahead of Schwartzman and championship leader Will Palmer. Red Bull Junior team member Daniel Tichtem was 5th again to claim his 2nd win of the weekend among the rookies. Tension down on the grid as they get ready for the big race, the first of 3 this weekend. Thomas Randall, a new face on the grid. Another Australian driver, bringing to 5 the number of Australian drivers racing this weekend. And that's a new record for the number of drivers from one country in the series, because every other country has a maximum of 4 at the moment. So Australia is the best represented country on the grid. Max Deforny, who put in a beautiful performance in Monaco with some fantastic overtaking maneuvers in both races, in 5th position here on the grid. But Deforny is definitely one to watch here on the Hungaroring track this weekend. Thomas Maxwell in 6th position, another Aussie on the grid.
So here
In car number 5, he put in 1:58.909. As we said, the time's a little bit slow from some of the cars this morning with those wet conditions in the first round of qualifying. He's followed with Alexander Vartanyan in car 23. JD Motorsport car. Also backed by SMP Racing, one of several drivers backed by SMP, their special young racing category. On grid position number 8, it's Richard Verschoor in car number 29. MP Motorsport, followed by Neil Verhagen, also MP Motorsport, on 9th position, the Red Bull Junior driver. Well sheltered under his yellow RS umbrella. In car number 20, it's Naji Ayat bin Abd Rajak. And he's one of our drivers from the Far East here, represented on the track today. In car number 10, of course, it's Robert Schwartzman. Robert a little further back due to a problem, as we said. Schwartzman running into problems in that first qualifying session with his accelerator pedal, and so he's quite a bit way further back on the grid. Alex Peroni, the Australian driver who put in some brilliant performances earlier in the year already, in 12th position on the grid. Proudly supporting his Tasmanian background on his helmet, Enrique Chavez on 13th position on the grid. In car number 13, the AVF by Adrian Valles car. Heat rising up from the track as the cars prepare to head out for the formation lap. Really the man so far of the weekend, Sasha Fenestras of Joseph Kaufman Racing. He's really kept the momentum going during the return to action for the Formula Renault Eurocup here. As we said, with a new category track record at the Hungaroring, the French driver has really dominated the 2 connective test sessions ahead of Schwartzman and rookie Yifei Ye. He said after nearly a month's break, it felt good to be back on the track. It was important to be well prepared this weekend, even more so because some drivers raced in the Formula Renault NEC season opener last week at Monza. The first results show we've done a good job, he said, and I hope it will be even more so when it counts tomorrow. This is what he was saying yesterday. It will be an interesting day depending on what the weather will have in store for us. Well, as we can see right now out on the track, that weather is glorious. It's going to be a little bit hot, as we said, for the drivers. 26 odd degrees air temperature, about 38 on the track, as there have been a number of races also out on the Hungaroring this weekend, the legendary Hungaroring. Reminder that Fenestras claimed his first pole position in Formula Renault Eurocup last year at the Monaco round as well, following the exclusion of the pole sitter Lando Norris. Subsequently, he took his first victory in the race, and he followed that with a second pole and victory at the final race at Estoril last year to finish 5th last year in the overall standings. Fenestras' brother-in-law, by the way, is 4 times WTCC champion Jose Maria Lopez. The engines have started, and they're clearing the track. Heat waves rising off the Hungaroring as they prepare for the first warm-up lap of this first race of a 3-race weekend. Fenestras concentrated, ready to go. The engines are roaring. The green flag is out. And they're off for the formation lap of this first race of the weekend here at the Hungaroring. A sprint over 25 laps on a track that's been described as Monaco without the buildings, a tricky track, but one where overtaking is possible, and we probably will see some interesting overtaking happening, possibly even in the very first laps, with Daniel Tichtum, the rookie, on pole position, with Fenestraz right behind him. Will Fenestraz attack right from the start? That's a probability, in fact, as they prepare to start for this first race of the weekend. Tichtum, the 18-year-old British driver, car number 33 Arden, he's part of the Red Bull Junior team and put in an overall fastest time of 1:56.198 ahead of Aubrey in Group B. This is his maiden pole in the series. He must be feeling absolutely chuffed to be on the front row today. An incredible performance for the rookie, currently 8th overall in the championship points standings on 37 points. Second in the rookies behind Max Futrell on 48 points. In 2015, Tichtum was hit with a one-year racing ban by the UK governing body, the Motorsports Association, for what it said was a disturbing and dangerous episode. He overtook 10 competitors under safety car conditions in the MSA Formula Championship and was then out of racing for about a year. He's regarded by many as one of the most talented drivers of the moment. Already in 2011, he surpassed the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, winning the Grand Slam of all 4 British National Championship titles, only ever achieved by one other racer. British MSA Formula Kart Stars champion, National ABKC Super 1 champion, British Open champion and British Grand Prix champion. Let's see how Daniel does today out there, starting from pole position. As we can see him on our screens, the teams F1 Racing standing by the track, watching their boys preparing for the race. As the final cars line up on the grid, we're preparing for a start. Green flag is waving. And they're off and racing. Will Tichtum get through the first turn ahead of the rest of the pack? Tichtum coming through, car 11 coming through on the inside. Fenestraz pushing through. Fenestraz is coming through on the first corners. Pushing through past Tichtum. The cars are going way out wide as well on those first corners. Tichtum still on the inside, protecting his first place as they go through those first. And there's an accident on the outside. One of the cars is off. It's tough running it through these first corners as Tichtum defends his first place. Pack starting to spread out. It's really hot running going through those first corners here at the Hungaroring as Tichtum continues to prance out in the lead. Tichtum, the rookie, in car number 33, 0.788 seconds ahead of Sasha Fenestraz. Aubrey in third positions, 2 seconds behind. A great performance from the rookie from the UK. And they're going off wide at all points around this circuit at the moment. It's 3x3 racing, very hard on this track. A very windy, bumpy circuit, and very difficult to get side by side like that for these cars as they come through a second time. It's Daniel Ticktum in the lead, pulling away from the rest of the pack. Daniel Ticktum, the rookie, in car number 33, already a good length away from the rest of the pack. Sasha Fenestras in second position. In car number 11, Aubrey in third position. Toing and froing, going on further behind. Neil Verhagen, the rookie, also in car number 31 in fourth position at the moment. Will Palmer back in 17th position. Palmer, the championship leader, as we said earlier on, with some accelerator problems in qualifying, first qualifying, putting him well back in the pack. Fastest lap for number 33 with 1:48.052 at 145.963 kilometers per hour as they wind their way around. Daniel Ticktum leading the pack. Ticktum putting in nice clean times, 1:48.052 for Daniel Ticktum in car number 33, putting in a best lap time. And what a brilliant position for this young rookie out at the head of the pack. And we have a safety car. Car number 2, Lewis Leeds, the Australian driver, is off. Out of the car, no damage done, but he's out of the running. Lewis Leeds, a replay of the start, and we might see what happened to Leeds there, or perhaps not. A nasty scuffle going through there with car number 96. That's the Bartomis Mireki car heading off. And also just after that, car number 2 of Leeds. Both of those cars out of the action. A very disappointed looking Leeds driving back to the, walking back to the pit lane. Car number 6 also looks like it's out of the action. That's Thomas Neubauer from Tech 1 Racing. And he's had some nose damage. He's getting the nose replaced. He's going to be coming back out in just a second. Thomas Neubauer with nose damage. Yellow flag still out. The leader, car number 33, Daniel Ticktum. Lapping behind the safety car. Ahead of Fenestras, Aubrey, Verhagen, D'Artagnan, Peroni, Bershaw, Maxwell, Chavez, Schwartzman, Hopmeer, Razak, Goddard, Deforney. Deforney also way back because of the different times in those 2 qualifying sessions this morning. He must be very disappointed after the brilliant performances he put in back in Monaco in the last round. Some fantastic overtaking maneuvers in those 2 races. Deforney really the man of Monaco in terms of action anyway. Will Palmer back in 16th position. Julia Pankovic back in 25th position, the only female driver in the pack. And she's really hoping to be able to put in some points this weekend. Close-up of Will Palmer, as we said, further back in the pack. Palmer currently leading the Formula Renault Eurocup at the end of the first third of the season with wins at Monza, Silverstone and Monaco. The Englishman is ideally placed to take on the 3 meetings in July. Can the younger brother of Renault Sport Formula 1 team driver Julian Palmer keep the momentum going and win the title? That's the question we're asking this weekend, because the going is pretty tough for him. And doesn't look like this track is very friendly to him at all. He said he was never pushed to get into racing. That's why he got a relative late start in karting. When he was 13 only, he began to really get interested in F1 and follow Jolyon. And that's when he decided to try it. He said to have two F1 drivers around the breakfast table can really be a double-edged sword. But he says it's good to have the two of them with him. They have a lot of experience. They regularly give him advice, share the lessons they've learned from their mistakes, so that he doesn't have to repeat them. He says for the driving, he can't really compare himself with his dad, and his style is quite different from Julian's. And he says he thinks that's due to the series that he's raced in. So he says he's very used to comparisons, of course, by now. And he's just come to always expect it in an interview. Close up there of two cars coming off. Lewis leads in car number 2. Leeds, who competed in the F4 British Championship, served as a member of the Red Bull Junior team in 2016 before being dropped this year. Picked up by Joseph Kaufman Racing. As the safety car continues to lead the pack around. Back in the next lap. So will Palmer get back up on top this weekend? That's the question. He says it was very good for him to be able to stay with RACE-GP for this season. He was with them last season. He's working with the same engineer he had before. And that means he can consolidate what he learned in the season last year in post-season testing. The goal, he said, was to be up front, but he didn't expect to start the season so strong with such a high level of competition. Well, they're off and racing again. Ticktum. Oh, and another spin. This time looks like it's car number 6 of Neubert. No, that was perhaps 5 of Maxwell. Ticktum leading from Fenestras. 3rd position, Neil Verhagen. Gabriel Aubry now in 4th position, I beg your pardon. Followed by car 23 of Vartanyan. Aubry dropping back from 3rd position. So somewhere along the line, it looks like there was a problem for car number 16 of Thomas Randall, because I can't see him out on the track at the moment. Safety car back on the track. Replay of that last incident. Going through, cars locking up, the Red Bull car going off, car number 29. That's the car of Verschoor. Very tricky track, the Hungaroring. Ticktum still in the lead. Will Ticktum win his first race of the series? That's the big question today. Car number 1, Peroni. Number 17, that is, Peroni, and Verschoor managed to get back to the pit lane. So it looks like Verschoor and Peroni were the two main concerned there, but still cleaning debris off the track and possibly a car, if we can see one as well. Just under 13 minutes left to run out of 25 minutes plus 1 lap, and it's still the safety car lapping out there on the Nürburgring. See Deforny in car 12 going past. Deforny tweeting a bit of big news actually in the last days. He was picked up by MB Partners, Mark Blundel's boutique sports management agency, where he'll no doubt be helped along by their Young Driver Academy. MB Partners are proud to be the only athlete management company in the UK to operate an in-house motorsport simulator. Based in Royston, Hertfordshire, MB Partners' bespoke simulator offers drivers the chance to improve their technique, consistency and average lap times for various races. Well, Blundell, of course, also started his sporting career at just 14, and for nearly 20 years he competed at the very top of world motorsport, including Formula One, IndyCar and World Rally Championships. His wins even include the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans. From 2001 through 2008, he was integral to ITV's multi-BAFTA award-winning presenting team for Formula One. Deforny said in his tweet, "I'm delighted to be working with MB Partners as I look to take the next steps in my career. As a company, they have great experience in helping talented drivers to maximize their potential. Seeing what they've been able to help their clients achieve in the past, I'm really excited about what we can accomplish together moving forward." So Deforny, a great stepping stone for him, being picked up by Mark Blundell. Saw them having a chat back in Monaco, and that's no doubt where they concluded the deal, and now they've announced it just coming here into the Nürburgring. Blundell said Max has enjoyed considerable success in every step he's taken so far within motorsport. His talent is without question, and this, alongside the level of commitment he shows both on and off the track, is proof that he can go on a really long way in the sport. Deforny was really the man of the weekend back in Monaco in terms of action and sheer overtaking prowess. In both races, he really showed what he was worth with brilliant passes. Race 1, on the penultimate lap, Deforny surprised Robert Schwartzman on the inside at Massenet to claim the 3rd step on the podium. And then in race 2, Deforny finished just off the podium after overtaking Daniel Tichtum through the portier and then into the tunnel on lap 10. And what an amazing overtaking maneuver that was. If you didn't see it already, I really strongly suggest going back and finding that video and watching it again, because it is a real one to watch. Yellow flag still flying. Just under 10 minutes left to run. Very tough circuit for the drivers. Where normally they can get up to a top speed here of about 230. With about 67% at full throttle, and the highest G-force for these cars is about 2.05. Quite a lot of aerodynamic downforce needed with all the corners. Brake wear not too bad. Tyre wear quite difficult here, of course, and especially in hot conditions like this. Not very hard suspension though, because it's a very bumpy track. And while on tracks like Po and Monaco, you basically got to start from pole to be a winner. Here, about 58% of winners have started from pole position. And the lowest starting point for a winner was 3rd on the grid. Seeing a big shake-up over this weekend, no doubt, in the championship points. Will Palmer currently leading on 144 points, ahead of Schwartzman on 136. Fenestraz 115. But if Fenestraz plays his cards right, he could well get back right on top of the leaderboard after these 3 races this weekend, because Fenestraz, this looks like being really a track that suits him very well. Max Stefani in 4th position on the championship board. Safety car moves off, and they're back under normal racing conditions again as car number 31 attacks on the inside. That's Verhagen attacking Fenestraz. Fenestraz in 2nd position behind Tichtum. Tichtum keeping a good lead in the lead, with Aubrey in 4th position, having dropped back a spot. Coming down through those tight S's again. Fast, bumpy, hilly sections of the circuit. Fantastic driving. This is a favorite track for many drivers. According to our screens, an incident involving cars number 7 and 12 has been noted. That's the Tech 1 racing car of Fertrell and the RS GP car of Guzman. Going out a bit wide. 6 minutes left to run as Tichtum continues to prance out in the lead without too much of a threat from Fenestraz. Fenestraz holding on, and there's one going right off the side there as well. We're seeing quite a lot of cars going right off the track at those sections. Slippery with the track being quite hot, and those tires still should be up to temperature. The Red Bull racing car in the lead as they come back through, be in front of the start-finish straight again. Car number 33, Tichtum, in the lead. Fenestraz is right up behind him. Fenestraz coming on the inside, attacking, braking late, but he didn't get through. Fenestraz is putting the pressure on in these last 5 minutes of the race. Fenestraz right behind Tichtum, coming down back through those corners. Corner 3. Action happening a little bit further back in the pack as well, with Aubrey and Vatanen. Pack not getting much of a chance to spread out with all those safety cars so far this weekend. 4 minutes left to run, 4 minutes 40 plus a lap. A very tricky, tight section through that chicane. Alexander Vartanyan also putting on the pressure with Gabriel Aubrey. Fenestraz breathing down the neck of Tichtum. Fenestraz just a couple of microseconds behind as they come back around the track to take another lap with 3 minutes 55 left to run. Back through past the start-finish straight yet again. Car number 33 still in the lead. Tichtum, can he hold it till the end of the race? The rookie leading the race, can he win his first race of the season? That's the question we're asking ourselves with just a couple of minutes left to run in this first race of the weekend. A surprise race here at the Nürburgring. What a fantastic performance from Tichtum. Who would have thought that he would have held his own in front of Fenestraz, who's been putting in a really hot performance in the qualifying and in the free practice as well. But despite a couple of threats, Fenestraz is backing off a little bit now as they've got 3 minutes left to run. Will Fenestraz go for a final attack in those last couple of minutes? What's he got in his mind at this point of time? Is the championship more important, or is he looking for a win? Car 33 Ticktum in the lead. 0.658 seconds ahead of Ticktum, ahead of Fenestraz, coming past the last time. Just a couple more laps to run. We all know that Ticktum is a very fearless driver from what he was doing before in the MSA Formula Championship. Also the MSA Formula Kart Stars champion, National ABKC Super 1 champion, British Open champion, British Grand Prix champion, GP plate. Now he's showing his worth here in the Hungaroring as he's keeping the lead. Daniel Ticktum keeping the lead from Fenestraz as they come through with less than 2 minutes left to run before the final lap. A fantastic performance from Ticktum. Look at him coming through those corners. He's got perfect control of the car. He's not going to let that place go to Fenestraz. Fenestraz, despite his brilliant performances in qualifying and in free practice, is not able to keep up with Ticktum. He's not able to attack. Ticktum pulling away. He's got a good 2 or 3 lengths ahead of Fenestraz now. Distance is spreading out. That's for Hagen. Closely followed by Aubrey. Aubrey not able to get back up into third position, despite putting a bit of pressure back on Verhagen in the last couple of laps. We have car number 13, Enrique Chavez, in 6th position. With just 30 seconds left to run, plus the final lap. Come on, Ticktum, can you do it all the way to the end? Keeping that lead, coming back through. He's got a good lead now, 0.731 seconds. He's keeping the lead ahead of Fenestraz. Fenestraz can't do it. He's tried a couple of times to get back up on Ticktum, but he just hasn't been able to do it. Pressure now for third position. Aubrey putting pressure on Verhagen. Aubrey right behind Verhagen now. The race is really on for third position. Will Aubrey get through into third? Aubrey started from third on the grid. Verhagen slipping through at one point, but now Aubrey putting the pressure back on. He wants to get back up on the podium. Going way out wide on the curbs. He's putting on a lot of pressure. Aubrey really putting on the pressure now. The battle for third position really very hot at this point. Aubrey just a couple of hundredths of a second behind Verhagen. Aubrey keeping the pressure on. Ticktum continues to lead by 0.752 seconds as they come through into the final lap. Ticktum leading by 0.875 seconds. He's digging a little gap there. It's going to be very, very difficult for Fenestraz to get back up on Ticktum and pass him before the end of the race. It looks like Daniel Ticktum is going to win the first race of this series. The rookie who took his first podium, first grid for the series, and now it looks like taking his first top step of the podium. What a brilliant performance from the young UK driver. 18-year-old British driver Daniel Ticktum in car number 33, part of the Red Bull Junior team. And he is prancing out in the lead in the final lap ahead of Fenestraz. Fenestraz, who's been putting in brilliant performances in the early part of the weekend. As we see a lock-up there from Will Palmer. Palmer trying to climb back up so he can get some championship points so as not to drop back in the championship too much. Palmer's going to have a hard time this weekend, though. Coming through into the final stages of this final lap, it's Daniel Ticktum. Daniel Ticktum leading through into the final stages as he prepares to come through and take the win in this first race of the weekend ahead of the brilliantly performing Sascha Fenestraz, but Fenestraz just not strong enough to catch up on Ticktum and take him despite a couple of heavy attacks. It's going to be Ticktum taking the win in this first race of the weekend here in Hungary, and what a fantastic performance for this young UK driver as he prepares to take the checkered flag. Car number 33 coming through to take the checkered flag. It's Daniel Ticktum taking the checkered flag ahead of Sascha Fenestraz. In third position, Neil Verhagen. Fourth position, Gabriel Aubry. And in fifth position, Alexander Vartanyan. A fantastic performance for this young British driver, the rookie. And what a really brilliant performance for him all the way through the race, despite a couple of safety cars and Fenestraz really putting the pressure on. He could have made him put a foot wrong, but no, the young UK driver, Daniel Ticktum, did it right all the way to the end and put it in to make a win in his first race of his racing career in this series. And he's going to be happy as Larry as he drives towards the podium. And what a great performance for Daniel Ticktum. Top three, Daniel Ticktum, car number 33 ahead of car number 11, Sascha Fenestraz, and car 31, Neil Verhagen. Also the first podium for Neil Verhagen in the series. He took some points in races 2 and 6, but this is his first podium. Verhagen in third position, the American driver. He's going to be, I think, happy as Larry as well. Sascha Fenestraz going to move up in the championship points, having won his last race in Monaco, race 6 of the season. Taking podiums in race 1, 2, 6, and 7. So Fenestraz really very consistent, and now showing here at the Hungaroring that he's going to be perhaps the man to beat for the rest of the weekend. Fenestraz, I think, will be starting from pole position tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. And perhaps also in race 3 as well. Reminder that race 3, the grid positions will be decided by the second fastest lap of each of the qualifiers in the second qualifying session. So there's only 2 qualifying sessions for 3 races, and race 3, the grid positions will be decided by the second fastest lap time in the second qualifying this morning, which was a dry qualifying as the cars come in to the pit lane. What a brilliant performance for Daniel Ticktum. Happy as Larry as he gets out of the car. Another Red Bull driver on the podium as well, in the shape of Neil Verhagen. Verhagen and Ticktum both part of the Red Bull Junior program. Looks like that's paying off as well here this weekend. Congratulations all around for the team. Arden Racing also very happy, no doubt, to take the points there. Now that's a happy face. Replay of some of the action from that race. Beads of sweat on the brows of the drivers. It's been very difficult racing conditions. Only 26 degrees air temperature, but under the sun, it's quite hot out there at the Hungaroring. Last night, a bit of rain, as we said, and this morning as well for the first qualifying. As they prepare to mount the podium. Hopefully we might be able to have a word with our winner, Daniel Tichtum, before they head up there. And as we cross back down to the pit lane, we hear from Daniel.
First win for the team as well. Tell us about your day.
I know a lot of people say it, but I am very lost for words. You know, the qualifying obviously was wet, which I think which helped us. We obviously got a good car in the wet, and I can feel this track quite nicely in the wet too. This race, I was just I was looking for points really more than anything else. A win would have been a bonus. You know, I met all my objectives and exceeded them quite nicely. So I'm very happy with that. You know, the pace was good throughout the race. Safety cars were a bit tricky. You know, having to stop and start every now and again. But no, overall, I'm very happy, and the team have obviously done a great job. It's a very good day for them. You know, in their first year to be at the top halfway through the season is very good for them, and they've worked very hard this season. So big thank you to them. So yeah, it's been a great day. Thank you.
A great day and a great race as we see the highlights back of this race with the heat waves rising up off the track as Daniel Tichtum in car number 33 gets a lead ahead of Fenestraz. Fenestraz really going on the attack on the first moments of the race. Both of them locking up, going up through those first corners. Fenestraz and Tichtum battling for the lead in the first parts of the race. Many cars going out wide, and it was a race of attrition as well, with a couple of cars going off the track. Cars number 96 as well as car number 2 leads heading off in that first section of the track. Very spectacular accident for car number 2 of Leeds. Who leads the Australian driver. Has also problems for car 29, the Red Bull car of Richard Verschaw. Tangled up with car number 17 of Peroni, but both able to get back to the pit lane in the end. Battles for many positions as the cars keep going out wide through a lot of those sections of the track that are tricky and very difficult to navigate, with several cars across, as we see at many points during this race. But Daniel Tichtum in the Red Bull car was too strong for Sasha Fenestraz and went through to take his first victory of the series. What a very brilliant performance for Tichtum. Absolutely over the moon as we come back to the pit lane and the podium.
Thanks, mate.
With the Arden Racing team down on the pit lane. Arden Racing currently quite a way back in the standings. The team itself in 6th position. RHGP are prancing way out in the lead with 303 points. Ahead of Joseph Kaufman Racing on 138. Arden Racing just 37. So this is going to be nice for the Arden Racing team, managing to put in some good points there as well. Tichtum currently coming into this race at 8th position in the championship. This is going to bump him up also in the championship to the first rookie position ahead of Max Fertrell, who was the number 1 rookie on 48 points. Tichtum coming in here on 37. as Ticktum steps up onto the top step of the podium for the first time in the Formula Renault Eurocup. And takes the British national anthem. Very proud moment for the young British driver. 2 Red Bull drivers on the podium for this Hungaroring round of the Formula Renault Eurocup. Neil Verhagen taking the 3rd prize. Congratulations all around. In 2nd position on the podium, Sascha Fenestras from car number 11. Joseph Kaufman racing. And on the top step, our young British hero of the weekend, so far, anyway. It's going to be much more difficult for Daniel in the next couple of races as Fenestras is going to be starting from in front, but let's see how Ticktum performs. A really great performance for this young British driver this weekend. Teams Championship prize going to Arden Racing. And Daniel Ticktum also takes the Best Rookie prize. Gets to take home 2 awards this weekend. And what a brilliant weekend, as we said, for the young Red Bull driver, as they prepare for the champagne shower, which is probably a good idea given the hot conditions here in the Hungaroring this weekend. Tomorrow also forecast to be very good conditions for racing, with 2 races, one in the morning, one mid-afternoon. As we bid farewell for today and say thanks for joining us, we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning.